the current layer, tilt up would be the good layer to be on. So from the tape measure, from that set outline there, we're going to come out 3800. Okay, we're going to extend it past approximately 600 or something like that to allow us a little bit more shading from the sun onto these balconies that are going to be in both of these areas here. So anyway, I'll turn the office image off now so we can work a little bit cleaner. I'll draw another concrete tilt-up panel out here. We're in the tilt-up wall, so this is going to just be something like, to start with, 3000, 150, and then I'll pick it up, triple click it, pick it up and move it to its location. Now it'll be somewhere along this edge onto that intersection there. We'll use some set outlines to extend it. I think 600's a reasonable dimension, so if we go 600 and 600 back from this, sorry, wrong grid line, I think it was this other one, 2 bays back we needed to go. Oh no, that was right, sorry. I'll just undo, actually. I better undo that because I think, yeah, I went the wrong side. It's actually 600 back here and 600 from the front one. And so we'll just now set out the rest of it. So we'll just get that to the right size now. Probably by push-pulling is probably the best bet. If we just sort of push-pull it up a little bit to start with. Not too sure how high it'll go at the moment. We'll do that in a second, and then we'll push-pull the ends along to those set out lines that we've just created, the ones that sail past 600. Okay. We'll just double check now. We'll just get rid of those set outlines. And by the way, we'll probably get rid of these ones internally in the office layout now too, I think. Right through to there. Just keep the main outside ones for the building for now. And we'll just turn back on the office image to, yeah, we did get that tilt-up wall in approximately the right location. So turn the office layout back off. Now, we'll have a think about how high these walls are going to go. The handout on the sketch plan shows that I think the office floor level is 3,300 above the factory level. So I'll and then on top of the 3,300, we probably need another 2,400 as a minimum, as a bit of a minimum height for the front office level. Now we're going to, on the front office level, we're going to come up and then we're going to have a roof pitch, something like 10 degrees, sloping lower side down here up towards that side boundary there. So I'll just do that just to get a rough idea of these heights to start with. I'll just get my tape measure and I'll come upwards off this up to the office floor level, which is 3,300 high, so in blue axis 3,300. And if I gave a minimum ceiling height to the end office of another 2,400, it'll come up in blue axis there again, 2,400 as a minimum sort of height. Now I want these concrete tilt-up panels to go a little bit higher than that, and then have a bit of an angled feature on them. You'll see what I mean in a second. So if I was to, and I want these concrete tilt-up panels in the front to go up past the roof on the front of the building to become a bit of a parapet. I'll show you in the sketch plan handouts what I'm talking about here. We let's get to these elevation views. So in this elevation view here, I'm going to do something a little bit differently. I'm going to take these tilt-up panels past this office roof pitch to the point they're a little bit past there, and they'll act like a little bit of a parapet in front of the roof behind there, and they'll become a bit of an architectural feature, I thought. So we've come up to our 3.1 metre height. We've allowed another 2.4 as a maximum ceiling height. So if we were to allow a little bit above that again to this point down here, and then put a sloping cap on the top of these parapet walls, that might work okay. So 3.1 plus 2.4 is 5.5. And then the so if we start at a minimum of 5.5 metres into SketchUp, so I might, we've already got our 5.5 here, haven't we? 5.7, sorry, 3.3 it was, 3.3, and then the 2.4 gives us our 5.7. So we want to go a little bit above, I'll say 6 metres actually. So I'll just go on blue axis up to 6 metres. I'll actually get rid of those other ones we created. We really didn't want them. We just want the top one for now. Just be careful which ones you get rid of. It's just the 6 metre one you want to leave on. And I'm going to initially push-pull all of them past that point. Well, the first one, actually I'll push-pull all of them past that point. And I need to go further than that line that we've just set out. Quite a bit further, because the roof starts rising up. Okay, now from that point I'm going to do a 10-degree line. So I'll get my protractor for a 10-degree roof pitch, lock it into this, constrain it to that orientation on that face. So I'm pressing and holding my shift key to constrain it, giving it that intersection, coming across, tipping it upwards, and giving it an angle of 10 degrees. Okay, so now that I've got that angle of 10 degrees there, I'm going to erase the first set out line. I'm going to pick up my pencil. I'm still on the concrete tilt-up layer, and I'm just going to trim these shapes off. Okay, so I'll just work my way around the wall now, maintaining the coloured axis directions. So I'm going back in red axis there, and then up from there up to this one. That should enable me now, and I can get rid of the set out line because all of those others are already set out, but it should enable me now to carefully orbit so there's nothing in the background, and I'll just select like this. But if you can just select pieces one by one until you've cleaned that up. That's the general aim there. So I'll just do that again on these other faces, and when we've got all other faces we'll start thinking about this other wall. So I've just trimmed off those other walls the same sort of way along that 10-degree line that we had there. Actually, I'll put that 10-degree line back on with the tape measure, come along to one of these edges, just pull away and type 0. So we've extended that line back up, and I'll just do a push-pull of this concrete tilt-up wall on the side up to that line also. Well, somewhere near that line. I'll just get it close onto that line, and then we'll do a bit of a measure of the height of what that ended up being. So in my case it ended up being about 8.6. I'm just going to take it down to 8.5 metres, so I'm doing a measure from the bottom at 8500, and then I'm going to push-pull that wall down to that 8500 mark. Get rid of the set out lines, and we've got the front tilt-up walls in place. So that's a good place to stop the video again.